Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Irish Sports Daily Instant Reaction post-game show. I am Greg Flamong, and with me, as always, is Jamie Ueyama, Mr. Jamie University. Notre Dame wins 36-7. It's the garden variety, very frustrating, sloppy game where you win by 29 and you outgain your opponent by about 300 yards. It was sloppy, and Notre Dame had 3 empty red zone trips that were fairly frustrating. They had one of the worst, incredibly, I don't know what you're doing, 4th and inches calls by Mike Tim. That was crazy. But look, at Notre Dame ends up winning by 4 touchdowns. The story to me is the defense. We're going to get into all that. But look, it's been, 4 weeks in a row now, Jamie, where it's just been really good play from the defense. Well, I should say the first half against Purdue wasn't it. But the last 3 games have been really, really good from Notre Dame's defense. We're going to talk about all those things. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in right now. If you like what you hear, please hit the like button. Please hit subscribe. Please hit the notification bell. So whenever it is, we are going live. Links to the podcast are in the description below. As always, the show is brought to you by ESQ Clothing, founded by Notre Dame alum Ge Wang. He is Chicago's go-to for the best custom suits, shirts, and sport coats. As Notre Dame has reloaded, they have reloaded on defense, and you can reload your wardrobe to add the perfect suit, sport coat, tuxedo, or casual jacket for fall. ESQ's master tailors combine next-level craftsmanship with the finest fabrics to deliver a fit that's built just for you. Now with showrooms both downtown Chicago and in Winnetka. Book your custom fitting at esqclothing.com and step into confidence with Chicago's finest. Mention ISD at your appointment and receive 10% off your entire purchase. That's esqclothing.com. Jamie, is the story of the game defense for you? I think it is for me. I think it is for a lot of people. But are they the story coming out of this game against NC State?
100%. I think if anyone is thinking about the negatives from this game, if that's the story for you in this game, then you're just honestly a hater. And you need to enjoy life a little bit more because the defense played really well. That NC State offense had legit players on it who had done really well. Hollywood Smothers, second in the country in rushing yards, top 5 of the country in all-purpose yards, missed tackles forced, you name it, all these things. He had 26 plays of 10 plus yards from scrimmage, second in the country coming into this game. He had 1 in this entire game. He had 1, and it was 10 yards. And he was a good player. Obviously you watched him turn 2-yard gains into 6-yard gains and all that kind of stuff. And, getting hit in the backfield, all of a sudden he turns it into a 3-yard gain. He's a great player, but they were all over him. They did not let him get anywhere. And that was a huge key to the game. That's what you kind of circled at the beginning of the game was they're going to have to contain him. And they absolutely did. They did a fantastic job. Thought, the run defense was really, really good. Obviously the pass rush again was very good. Boubacar, as again is just getting better and better. He was fantastic. 3rd game in a row where they basically took away a screenplay and it turns into a sack. It's just defense. To hold this offense to, under 4 yards per play. They had if you look at them statistically and some of the stuff that they had done on 3rd down and all that, and they were good on 3rd down in the first half. NC State was they converted a bunch of 3rd and longs, but a lot of those were good throws, good plays by Bailey, and they got Notre Dame on the double move, right? They got Golden and they went after Golden early, but true to form, Golden got better during the game. He was better during the game and learned from it. Obviously, if you're looking at with that moment, you're probably thinking, oh, Makai Lemon next week and all these different things. And not to say that it's still, it's still going to be scary to face a Makai Lemon next week. But, man, I just think Notre Dame's defense, I don't know how you could come out of this game and not be like incredibly encouraged and think like, man, I think they're going to give, USC's offense everything they can handle.
Yeah, I think that's the takeaway for me. And you made a good point about Dallas Golden is, we had talked, I think, in the preview about, we felt good about him, but he hasn't really been tested. He hasn't been tested in a way where a team was like, hey, we're going after you. And NC State did that a little bit. And the one third down where he gave up where it's pretty tight coverage and the ball just gets over his head and but he gives up the catch and then they gives up the long bomb there. And you think, okay, like they're going to continue to do this. It was Anderson, right? The wide receiver.
Yeah.
T. Anderson. He had those 3 catches early against Dallas Golden, finished with 3 catches. He didn't catch a pass the rest of the game.
He got hurt.
Oh, okay. Oh, so there was another slot. Right.
There's another slot. But Keenan Jackson is their regular. They moved him in and they got him on Golden. It was a good job by them to get him matched up on Golden there. But I mean, Keenan Jackson, the regular slot, he didn't get anything against Golden. He didn't get anything. And really, like, Jolie's like a really good tight end. He didn't get anything. Anderson was the only guy who got anything in the game, and really was basically one play, right? So it's a pretty darn good game. That's a good ball game. Like, I thought it was a great game by the defense. Like, you just have to tip your cap.
Yeah. So NC State finishes with 233 total yards of offense, 182 passing, 51 rushing. I mean, those are the numbers you want, right? 182 passing or 186 from CJ Bailey with a 54-yarder in there. So we're talking about 130 yards on the 29 other attempts. You will take that 100% of the time. And we're talking like 3 yards or 4.5 yards per attempt for CJ Bailey. And he's a guy coming in averaging 9 yards per attempt, right? So obviously that's pretty close to elite in college football. You mentioned Hollywood Smothers, 12 carries, 46. That's going to win you pretty much every football game. NC State finishes with 3.9 yards per play. I don't want to brush over the offense and their kind of, I don't want to, their struggles, and some of their struggles, especially in short yardage and everything. But the reason that Notre Dame finds themselves in the position that they do, where they have 2 losses and they cannot lose another game for the rest of the year, is because of the way the defense played to some extent against Miami, but especially so against Texas A&M. Yeah. And they have recovered. I mean, I don't know that there's anywhere other way to see it, Jamie. That they have found their stride. Chris Ash has found the formula that he's looking for to be a better defensive coordinator, utilize his players. They've found a scheme. They've gotten the right players in the games, and they've gone on and played much better football. And so that's a credit to him, and it's a credit to the whole staff and everything. We've talked about that a bunch. I want to get to this super chat from Matthew Sievers. Thank you for the super chat. He says, we'll be at the game next week and we'll miss the post-game show. So here's a super chat to celebrate Notre Dame's victory over the Trojans in advance. No need to be too smart, Denbrock. Run it downhill with Jeremiah Love. What did you think of that, Jamie? The 4th and inches that they no, and not just the fact that they ran the ball 3 straight times to get to 4th and inches. And I'm thinking, just do it again. And they didn't do it again. And not only that, they roll them out. And then CJ Carr inexplicably eats it and loses about 15 yards. So you didn't even get the whole thing was just a total disaster. Conceptually, the play was bad. The decision was poor. What were you thinking? Because I was watching, I was like, I don't even know what to say. Like people were texting, I was like, I don't know what to say about this. Like I can't speak safely on this.
No problem with them going for it, obviously. Like
for sure, yes.
No problem with going for it. Well, not 100%, and I'll get to the other one that they went where I was like,
no, I meant the 4th and inches.
Yeah, 4th and inches. Yeah, 4th and inches. Yeah. Go for it. Yes. 4th and inches plus territory. If you can't get it, like you deserve to lose. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, obviously you don't deserve to lose the game, but like you deserve to not score. Like it's like you haven't earned it. Like it's there for you. I just don't get that at all. Like, I'm sure they don't practice quarterback sneaks. It's not something that people actually
Yeah.
practice because you don't want to get anyone hurt. You don't want to, do a lot of that stuff. Maybe they have to, because if you can't get 4th and inches on a quarterback sneak, if quarterback sneak isn't in the playbook, then put it in the playbook. For that situation, put it in the playbook.
He's not a small guy.
He's not a small guy. Even if he's not comfortable doing it, like, and everyone said, like, well, what about Minchie in this? I don't know if maybe they tried Minchie in practice in these situations and he didn't look whatever, right? Like, he was not the guy that they want to put in there. Okay, fair enough. But, and I know that it was a fake what they ran with Buckner after. But honestly, I watched that and I was like, why isn't Buckner the quarterback they bring in? Honestly, when you're inside the 3-yard line, because you don't need CJ Carr to be like this precise, great passer during that play. No, you need to get the ball in the end zone any way you can, usually running the ball. That's why you have to run the ball there most of the time, because it's so condensed. It's hard to throw the football there. Put him in. He's had experience doing it, and he was actually good at it. Also, you don't care about him getting hurt. Like, not that I mean, like, no one wants him to get hurt, but I'm just talking about, you don't care about like sacrificing, like, oh man, he's going to take too many hits of this. No, like that's why he's on the team, is for these specific things.
Yeah.
To run that fake punt, all those things. The reason why he's the holder on field goals is because it's like, well, if we ever call fake, we ever do this. So I think that seems like a pretty simple fix to me. Like, just to do that. I don't understand why you don't, but you can't run a quarterback sneak. It's like, maybe CJ Carr's never taken a snap from under center or whatever. I don't know. Like, I can't recall him doing it this year now that I think about it. But like, if he can't, if he can't, somebody can. Somebody can run a sneak here. And also too, it's okay if they know it's a sneak. It's okay. Like, they know the tush push is coming. Like,
it's $1 billion. This is $1 million operation. You could run quarterback sneak with your quarterback. Like, this is, come on. The people, CJ Carr is making, I assume, 7 figures. Mike Denbrock is making 7. Come on, let's run a sneak. Like, this is not, he's not comfortable or whatever. I'm sorry, it's football. You can run a quarterback sneak. Yeah, I practice it to the extent you need to. It's something that needs to get figured out. You can't roll him out on 4th and inches, Jamie.
No.
You can't roll out on 4th and inches. You're Notre Dame. Like honestly, that is an affront to like Marcus Freeman and who he is as a head coach. You can't call yourself an O-line driven program and run and roll out on 4th and inches. You can't. I believe very strongly about that. I don't like it, and they need to get that figured out. Ryan ATL, thank you for the super chat. Stay awesome, Greg and Jamie. Beat SC, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for your attendance. It's like I said, man, or get Eli Raridan to learn how to take a snap. There are so many options better than what they decided to do there. It's 33 combined carries for 100 and 52 yards for Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price. It's interesting. They just never hit that. And look, this is something that NC State's been good at, Jamie. We talked about it a little bit. Like, their run stuff rate is pretty high. You got to gash them, right? And I felt like Notre Dame never gashed them, and that number never really got big enough. So considering that, what were the issues that you kind of saw? And then I want to get back to the defense, and then we'll go to the offense and the receivers, because huge games from Pauling and Raridan. But what did you kind of see on the offensive line there that felt like, man, they just can't break one? Was it something NC State was doing, was sending extra men, or what did you see in the running game?
I thought it was just them winning up front enough. Like, it wasn't like they were dominating. Like, there was one guy who was unblockable all the time. And I know Craig wasn't having a great game before. He got injured. And he had a couple loud misses, and those always stand out. But when you think about like just through the course of the game, there was just like one guy winning, and I think some of those guys are pretty good players on NC State's D line. I'm not going to say that you got to give them credit too.
Mm-hmm.
But Notre Dame just never established anything where they like dictated the terms of anything there, and I think that was part of it. And also some of it is like most of those times when they're doing it, they were running zone stuff, and I was like, run more gap block it more, like run more duo, or do other kind of stuff where I thought they can do it. I thought like there's things with Denbrock too where I don't know, it's hard to pick at it because it's like, you don't want to reveal, like you're saving stuff for the USC game, right? Like that always happens. But I just thought they should have varied some stuff. Even with the way that they were losing up front, I would have just been like, well, why don't you run a little bit? Now's the time to run a jet, something, right? Something like that. I think that was it. And obviously both those guys, like, they had like explosive runs on the day. It just didn't look like it was never consecutive. There was never a point where Notre Dame controlled the game by running the football. Obviously the passing offense was just so explosive that it didn't matter ultimately.
Mm-hmm.
But you want to be able to run it. There's the reasons why they've been so good in the red zone for the most part. It hasn't been like CJ Carr like dicing people up in the red zone. It's been them running the ball in. That's why Love and Price have so many touchdowns. But this is a big thing. They didn't finish. But then again, maybe it looks all different if you go for it on 4th and inches and you just sneak it. Like there's that kind of thing too.
Yeah. So I was looking at quotes for from Marcus Freeman at the press conference. I saw it come up on Twitter. Drew Aller's out for the year.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So,
oh my gosh,
the wheels are just completely off. They lost to Northwestern today. They've lost 3 in a row. Back-to-back losses against UCLA and Northwestern. I mean, maybe UCLA is the best team in the country at this point because they lambasted Michigan State on the road too. Like that, you win by like 38-13 on the road. That's like 66-13. I mean, that's really good. But yeah, Drew Aller's out for the year. So Penn State, they've got some issues going on. So you mentioned Notre Dame's passing game, explosive passing game. CJ Carr, 19-31, 342 yards, 2 touchdowns and the interception in the end zone on that 4th down play. Eli Raridan, 7 catches, 109 yards, 7 catches on 7 targets. So that is what we call efficient. Will Pauling, 4 catches on 7 targets, 4 catches, 105 yards and touchdown. And then Jordan Faison has a good game. KK Smith out of mothballs, Jamie. They bring him out. 3 catches for 59 yards and got his first career touchdown. So he looked good. When the Notre Dame passing game is clicking, it's kind of like Jonathan Dorr and his kicks. Man, when he makes it, it's like the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. And when he misses, it's just like, whoa, what is that? That's very bad. And sometimes CJ Carr, it kind of goes in that direction. But I mean, obviously they've got something going on. Eli Raridan, huge game. Will Pauling, huge game. What are you seeing there in the passing game, Jimmy?
Well, obviously, like I knew they were going to go after they're so beat up in terms of their safeties and their nickels that like it was going to make sense that they got their guy who's starting at nickel for them back in this game.
Yeah.
And he was the guy getting cooked for most of the game. So I don't want to make it seem like people take it like they're on their 5th nickel. It's like, well, the guy who was starting at the beginning of the year is back. So you can't just say it was just that. Like they beat that guy and Pauling, I mean, certainly cooked that guy a bunch of times. I think there's so much of the passing game where Carr, and I think some of it where you could see maybe where Carr, maybe some of the stuff that we heard about what was going on during camp, like he gets in his own head, I think,
Yeah.
where it's like he gets like too frustrated. It's like, that's like he's got to kind of wipe it and move on to the next one. And I mean, he obviously made some great throws in this game, like he does every game. And the deep ball stuff was like mostly pretty darn good. I thought he did a great job, like throwing on the move and finding people. Faison was obviously a beast after the catch again in this game too. Like, I mean, it just shows you too. Raritan is a problem for. If he was on another team that didn't have as many weapons, he would be getting like Mayer targets, like probably like he's just because he's just so much of a mismatch with whatever. There's nobody like you're gonna have to find like a really super athletic, strong linebacker to cover him, and there's just not a lot of guys who can do that. There's just not a lot. So, like, and he's gonna body up any safety too. So that just makes it so tough. So, I mean, they had so many explosive plays, and it really should have been like based on the number of explosive plays, it should have been much worse. I kind of got to call out like game on paper because I'm like, I use it as a resource. Thank you for existing, game on paper. I appreciate it. But what is the deal with your explosive play rate and your havoc rate stuff? Like, tweak that, nerd guys. Come on, give us a hand here because Notre Dame had Notre Dame with like a 3% explosive play rate in the first half, and Notre Dame had probably 7 explosive plays in the first half. And I'm not talking they do it by EPA, but by EPA it was like they were explosive on those plays. A lot of them, like it wasn't like they were like 3rd and 25 and they got 27. It was like no, they like were getting it on like first down and big plays. And like when you're going down the field, like in the middle of the field, and you get like a 23-yard and then a 30-yard from Raritan, it's like that doesn't make sense why those don't count. Like I don't know. Anyways, it was just one of those things that I'm like, I don't really understand how that is, but like Notre Dame, I think coming into the game, Notre Dame had the 3rd highest explosive play rate according to True Media in the country. USC was 1st, but I mean USC played 4 teams at the beginning of the season without a pulse, so I'm really interested to see how this game goes for them. But man, just like it's just really hard to stop Notre Dame because they are going to hit on something always, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that doesn't even count like all of like the PIs and stuff.
Yeah, so Rajon made a good point because we were talking about Raritan 7 for 7. It wasn't there. He asked if there was a PI on Raritan, and I believe there was. So it's like I mean, it doesn't go down in the stats for him, but like that's kind of more yards on a target, right? Like it's 8 for 8 in my opinion because of that. Like you throw to him and you get 15 yards. So yeah, that's a great point because on the pass interference penalties. I feel like Marcus Freeman said the message to the half team at halftime was stop beating Notre Dame. Like Notre Dame needs to stop beating Notre Dame. I do feel like Notre Dame gets stopped because they're just calling the wrong play, which isn't to say that I don't mean that, oh, I know exactly what they should have called, but I feel like there's so much available to them and the things that they try, like they're so good at it and they're so explosive that when they get into a play call that's just bad, like the 4th down calls, for example, both of them, it's like you're calling the wrong play there, right? You know, it's not Notre Dame losing on a play. It's like you just called the wrong thing and you got him into the wrong, and that's going to happen, right? So I don't want to make it seem like, you know, Mike Denbrock and what is he doing or whatever. Like you call 70 plays a game, 2 of them might not be very good. Now they got to be on 4th down, right? So you need good play calls on 4th down.
Yeah,
but
you got to go to your best ones in those.
Yeah, but I feel like this offense is good enough to where, like, man, you're just calling the wrong
there's
stuff.
there's a higher margin for error with the offense. It's just true.
Yeah.
Right. Like, because even if you think about it, like they scored 34 points in this game, obviously the two, not counting the two on the safety, like they scored 34 points in this game, like, and it should have been 50 or whatever, but like, how many people can go 4 for 8 touchdowns in the red zone and you score over 30 points in a game?
Yeah.
It's a short list. It's a short list of teams, right? So that's the thing, is like, they don't even have to be perfect to still be really good. And then obviously when they're close to perfect, they look unstoppable, right? So, and that's obviously, you want to get them back to kind of a higher efficiency level and all that kind of stuff. But it does kind of feel like, really, like we're picking out these specific instances, and we're talking about the red zone and fourth down, and those are huge, right? And I wrote about fourth down before this game, and how, like, bad it was. And if you think in this game, you look at you and say 2 of 9 on third and fourth down the first half, and you're like, I mean, that's how you have to get 10 points, right? That's why. But then you can say in the second half, like, they were good on those, like 5 of 8 on third and fourth down, right? And obviously one of those fourth downs was the fake punt, but like still, like, that is something you'll take 5 of 8, right? Like, that's a good number. So I don't know. It's tough. Like, I do think they can be better. I mean, obviously they can be better. But it's weird. It's like, they have to feel confident, because how could you not? But it's almost like it's too easy, So I'm going to be interested. I do think, too, there's going to be more of in this game, in this next week, you save stuff. You save the best stuff for this game. So I really think there's going to be a lot of things that they have to, and let's face it, there's going to be points, like USC's not scoring 7 points. Like, right. I don't care how good the Notre Dame's defense plays. They're not scoring only 7 points. So there's going to be a point where you have to execute, and you can't go like a couple, you can't go 3 series without getting points. You can't do that.
I thought of the throws to Raritan, not just the throws, but the catches as well. We're just kind of like really high level. I mean, time. the big time throw stats that go up on PFF, I'll be interested to see those, but like those are high level throws, and they're high, like it's a high level catches. Like Eli Raritan, like that's the kind of stuff that takes you from like, oh, you're a good college player, to like you're getting drafted, because that's the John Carlson, Cole Kmet, Tyler Eifert type stuff, where it's like, man, that's in traffic, it's over somebody. It's just really good, and it's great to see from CJ Carr connecting on those plays. We talked about NC State, 51 rushing yards for them. Boubacar Traore obviously had a huge game. In the sack department, he had 2 sacks. Drake Bowen and Tay Johnson tied for the team lead with 7 tackles there. KVA was 6. So when you got the linebackers at 7 tackles and 6 tackles and leading the team, Jaden Osbury with 4, we talked about how the D-line needs to really help out their linebackers and getting the ball stuffed and that sort of thing. Is that a product of the D-line just winning kind of up front, and then the linebackers being able to clean up as they're free there?
I mean, I think that was a big part of it, right? Like, also, I mean, I got to give credit to Chris Ash too, because like, if you think about, they got the sack on Hughes, got that sack after, they stopped the screen, right? So they get that sack all of a sudden, because they got a good gain on first down. All of a sudden it's like, okay, well now it's, now it's going to be 3 and 7 now, but you call they haven't been blitzing the safeties. They haven't been doing all that. They blitzed nickel more in this game. They did some of the stuff, like that Stroman, sack was a big play, like, and that was the right time to call it. And so like that kind of stuff too, I think is just, it's huge. And obviously you saw, like, there were points where, like, I mean, Boubacar dominated that right tackle that whole game, right? Like That guy couldn't block him. And that kind of stuff is huge. But there was a bunch of guys winning throughout the course of the game. So yeah, I really do. And there is so much to like, confidence and all that, and also finishing and getting there. Like, you just have to say, when you look at it, like, I mean, they have 7 interceptions in the last 2 games. Well, a lot of that has to do with the pass rush.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing a great job back there. I don't want to take anything away from them, but I'm just saying, like, it goes hand in hand. And it's also not a coincidence too. If you look at, like, Notre Dame's pass rush in the first 2 games, like, they had 1 sack. And I know they're hard to sack those guys. I get it. But 1 sack in 2 games is not going to cut it. It's just not. They have 14 in the last 4 games, right? Like, it like changes everything. It changes everything. So, and it doesn't even count all the other times that it's like, that they like Junior Tuihalamaka draws a hold and all that kind of stuff too. Like those kind of things. But what a play by Junior Tuihalamaka to stay on that throwback.
Stay on the quarterback. Yeah.
Yeah. Huge play.
I mean, look, that's why he's always been like a kind of guy where it's like you assume people are going to take his minutes, and then he goes out there and does stuff. He makes the play on the quarterback, on the throwback. On the very next play, he earns a holding call. Now, granted, they declined it because the play was an incomplete, but it was partially incomplete because of his pressure that earned the hold, and then it blew up the play. Right. So, I mean, it 2 plays in a row where it's like you're making plays. And obviously at that point in the game, it was either 17-7 or 24-7. So the game is still in doubt, and he's making plays. And that's what he's kind of always done. As soon as he was inserted into the lineup, he's done that. Big message from the defense in the postgame show, or not in the postgame press conference, talking about playing together. They didn't feel like they were playing together in the first 3 games or the first 2.5 games or whatever it might be. And now they feel like they're playing together. I think it's just, and I'll tell you a sense that I've kind of gotten in talking to people who are around the program in the last like two weeks, is I think that there was just a lot of questions about what exactly are we doing? Right. What are we doing? And
who are we?
People, like what is going on in terms of not just like what's going on, but like they didn't feel connected to what the defense was doing, what they were all trying to be doing together. And it was kind of a slog. And there was a lot of unhappiness because they were unsure. It was just like kind of going into the building every day was just, it didn't have the same energy. And I just in talking to people, and it wasn't put this way, but just talking to people, and I kind of have a sense for how the players feel, is like they feel like, okay, we are excited to go to the building we are excited now to get into the building and go over the game plan and go over what we're going to be doing. There's a different kind of energy and aura that is around the defense now. And obviously we can lament why it wasn't like that. It is what it is. They do have to win out now, but it is present, and they're certainly playing that way. And it's great to see. There's a lot of aura when you're working together and you build some kind of community, Jamie. And you can do that with pickleball too. You can get together with a bunch of Notre Dame fans. You could build a community. You could build an aura, and you're all working together to become better pickleball players in a joint effort to be involved in something with Notre Dame fans and being active outside. You can do that with H2 Pickleball, founded by Notre Dame alum Todd Hill. He's teaming with fellow alums Jack Gibbs and Will House, who's a top 10 pickleball pro, to bring Notre Dame fans to Notre Dame Pickleball Crew League. Besides football, what better way to connect and engage Notre Dame fans than through pickleball? Membership is free. Members will have access to special pickleball events and discounts. Hey, Jamie, you know what else is free?
What?
Subscribing to this channel. Subscribing
there you go.
to Irish Sports Daily's YouTube channel. You can subscribe, hit that like, all free things. It's also free to join the H2 Pickleball Crew League. The next event will be a Will House Pickleball Clinic on Friday before the Syracuse game. Members can also get discounted tickets to the Syracuse game. Contact Todd at h2pickleball.com or 574-339-5195 to join the league. Be sure to visit the H2 Pickleball facility in Mishawaka when you are in town. H2 Pickleball is located at 55801 Evergreen Plaza Drive in Mishawaka, Indiana. Here's the thing. This is now the third game in a row, maybe the fourth game. I'm trying to think back to the Purdue game, and I think he was solid in that game. Fourth game in a row that Christian Gray has been fairly anonymous in the sense that no one's getting upset. He did have an interception in this game that was ruled not an interception.
Taken off. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that now, or do you want to talk about?
Let's get the rep stuff out of the way, because I hate that we even have to talk about it each week.
Yeah, I did. And look, I'm glad that the second half went the way it did, because I was like, I'm not leading with these guys. I'm not gonna do it because we're 37 minutes in. I think it's fair to do. Look, far be it from me to say Terry McAuley put on Twitter that not overturning the catch to incomplete is the worst replay decision he has seen this season.
All you got to say, too, is those guys who are those refs, too, they protect their own. They're looking for an excuse to say, no, this is why this guy made that call. That's what they're looking for most of the time. Yeah. And I forget the name of the guy who does it on NBC right now.
Reggie Smith.
Reggie Smith does a good job. He does a good job. And, like him explaining the previous week why the minute play that went and wasn't a touchback, I was like, this is a valid reasons for why this wasn't called. I understand why people would be upset, but it's like, it's a different rule than it is in the NFL. And if as soon as that breaks the plane, it doesn't matter that the ball didn't land or whatever. It's just any kind of touch. And it was like, well, that makes sense. Thank you for explaining that. Yeah. And thank you for explaining it. Thank you for explaining why that was actually a good call and not a horrible one. Really appreciate it. But when he's going into this game and he's just like, he's like, it's never a good sign when they're like, I don't know what they're talking, like, I don't know what they're going to do here, because I thought the other ones were like what is going on here?
Listen, Dan, it's a lot of that. It's I can't believe it. The ball is on the ground and it's rolling around and it's like clearly not secure. And it's like upheld. How?
I don't get it at all. It did not make sense. And then to have the interception right after, where it was like, well, it didn't look like this was trapped at all and whatever, and it just looks like a clean catch. Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. I don't know. And it's like, I want to applaud the ACC for their ESPN. If you watch an ACC game on ESPN,
yeah, they do the thing where it's like
they give the transparency, they give the access to it. You can hear them on the audio, and I was like, well, that's great. You can hear what they're thinking, and you can understand why they made that call, and it's totally whatever. Because it's not available on the NBC, and because there's been enough of those calls that are just so bad, it does make you, I don't know how anyone couldn't think, well, they're pretty obviously favoring the ACC team here, right? Like, I don't know how anyone could not think that, like when you see those calls, when Terry McAuley, he doesn't want to call someone stupid and bad at their job, or this is horrible, but he's forced to, because that how bad it was. When they go after one of their own, it says everything you need to know.
Yeah, it's bad. It's real bad. But look, that's a good play by Christian Gray. Vamos Irish Oscar says Gray he was beaten on a long throw. And he was. But look at it. The thing about it is, like, sometimes you're in good coverage and they catch that pass, and sometimes you're not in great coverage and they don't. Like, it kind of evens out in the end. I think when you have 4 games where you have one instance when you're beaten on a long ball and the ball ends up incomplete, he's playing good football, and he's playing a lot better. And obviously, having Leonard Moore back is just a boon for the entire defense, right? It helps so much. Tay Johnson again is solid. I did see he might have missed his first tackle in this game, which is c'est la vie to that. Don Schuler comes up with an interception on obviously CJ Bailey has just lost his mind. He just didn't see him standing right in front of him. KVA, Kingston Vilialamuasa, has an interception in this game. So they're creating havoc. They're getting after the quarterback, and they're stopping the run, which I think is what you call the Holy Trinity on that kind of thing. Anything else on the defense that kind of stood out to you? Anyone inside or anything on that front there?
I don't even know if there is a particular guy who just really stood out in a way that because I just really think if we're talking with the Holy Trinity, it's like everyone played well. Oh, you know what? I really want to highlight Drake Bowen actually.
Yeah.
Because you know how many people probably were thinking, oh, Bowen, here he is on this running back. Oh, he's going to get cooked. I mean, Smothers is a dude, and he is running with him stride for stride. That was impressive. There was another play too where they were he kind of activated. He thought it was a green dog, and then the back slipped out, and then he ran with the wheel, which was also a big time play. He obviously had the big hit in this game too. He's playing well. I understand people upset about the 4th and 11. He got beat on a play. He's been playing good football, guys. He's been playing good football. And obviously KVA is still a stud and playing good football too, but they're playing good all around. I like what I'm seeing from the defense as a whole. They're just even pointing out to what we said before about Dallas Golden, Carson Hobbs having those games, and then it's it falls off. The wheels fall off, then it's over. But also nice to see Carson Hobbs get a pick at the end, because sometimes that just a guy like that just needs some confidence. And then maybe they get a little bit more confidence and say, hey, he can play, let's wait till not against Makai Lemon, but later on, he earned some time again. But I just think that kind of stuff is big. It's really, really big.
I thought, you know what else I like, Jamie? They sent Jalen Stroman. I think was that a green dog?
No, it was a call blitz.
It was a call blitz. Okay, he was a little bit late. I wasn't totally sure, but they brought him. I was thinking it's funny that this happened, because I was thinking, you know what? Bring Jalen Stroman on a blitz. That's a guy who is really good running towards the line of scrimmage. Let him just go, right? And they brought him, and it was destruction. That is utilizing your players and their skill sets to kind of
finish too.
Yeah. That is again getting to know your personnel and understanding. Okay, we don't want him doing this, but we will have him doing this. And that is kind of that is what coaching is. That is what staffs do. That's how you get the most out of your talent. And so I really enjoyed that from Jalen Stroman and them letting them do that. Obviously, I think, the fact that Elijah Hughes continues to get snaps. I thought it was another strong game from Gabe Rubio. He's stacking performances on top of each other, which is kind of the holy grail of okay, we're starting to see a really good player, be consistent. You can count on it week after week. That's really good. I want to get back to the offense real quick. It's the second game in a row where it's been kind of it's been a bit wanting, right? You want a little bit more from this group. Hasn't been super efficient. There's been mistakes. Anything red flaggy in that to you? Just kind of going forward.
No, I honestly not in this game. Not in this game. I don't think so. Like, I just think about like where, and I'm watching USC in the background as we're talking about this, and obviously, that first drive was a really really good drive for USC, and they're super talented. And when Riley is on it, he's really really good. I just think they've been winning the line of scrimmage and really like playing well up front. And if they continue to do that against USC's front, they'll do well in the game. That's always the key against USC. Yeah. You'll have no hope of winning the game unless your front just kills their front.
Yeah. I mean, they have a good, what's the situation with USC right now? I'm not watching.
It's 7-0. They stopped Michigan pretty quickly on their drive. They scored right away. It was like a really good design thing. I mean, it was 3rd and goal. Beautiful, like little fake bubble to Lemon where Lane faked the block and then slipped out, and it was really really nice play. Big 4th and 1 coming up here. Wow, I feel like I should be doing play-by-play here. Timeout USC, so they didn't run it. But I think it's just like when you see USC going, it's like screen game, tempo, ball out quick, all that kind of stuff. And that's the one thing. It's like, if you get them where they can't get the ball out quickly, you take away those kind of things, and you take away screen game and all that. That's when they just become a different thing. That's why Maeva, I want to give him credit. He looks good, and he has looked great this year. Obviously, he's played really, really well. Mm-hmm. But there's a reason why all these guys do well in the offense. It's set up for success. It's really well set up.
Yeah.
So you have to cover well enough to make it hard. And then either, you get, Caleb Williams, who can, be a Houdini back there, and then just, it's impossible to cover for that long. Or, they run the ball enough to make it like, we can't keep playing with these light boxes. Right. Yeah. So, but that's why you got to win up front.
You got to stop their openers. Lincoln Riley does such a good job of like scripting and getting a game script. Like if you stop their opener, like you have a very good chance of I don't want to say stopping their offense, because we saw that last year, but like slowing them down and being able to build a lead. Right. I think Michigan's like booty, so I don't think they're a good football team.
I don't think they're good either, and I think they're probably going to get exposed in this game. They'll probably run the ball well enough. But the thing is too, is like one of the things with USC is like their DBs suck.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't all suck. Like Kamari Ramsey's a good player. They have some good players, but in general, like their corners aren't good enough. Which is a horrible thing to have against Notre Dame. I don't think USC's defense is very good, to be honest. So I think they're ripe to get exposed. And I'm interested to kind of see, like even like you play like a noon kick in Illinois, it's not going to be the same crowd as it is as a night game at Notre Dame. It's going to be a lot different.
Well, I wonder about Notre Dame and their running game / kind of mindset. It's hard, I think, to like they were so efficient against like Purdue, and then they were so efficient against Arkansas. And I think it's hard to just score on every possession like that, especially when you have like a young quarterback. And I know that like CJ Carr, we've been praising him as we should. He's been playing really, really well. But like he does do like young player type things.
Yeah.
And he did it last week, and then he did it again. And it's just like, okay, like let's all of us, myself included, like settle down a little bit. Like these things are going to happen. Like not throwing the ball away on that fourth and whatever. Like kind of maybe choosing like, hey, we don't need you to chuck on this 2nd and 5. Like take something a little bit shorter than that, right? Like I know you want to, but like that's a low percentage pass.
That's his biggest thing actually is like, and I think that was the thing that they were afraid of.
It was a big thing,
right? As they were like, take the layup.
Yeah.
Take it sometimes. Sometimes 4 yards is good. 4 yards is good if the percentage of that deep ball isn't there, you know?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to have to throw dimes all the time. Because even like that one throw he made to KK Smith that wasn't completed, like that was a dime, a great play. But even that is like the coverage was so good, it was like that's hard to complete.
Right.
So there's a reason why those are low percentage.
Right. Exactly. I was just going to say that. And I think there's some of that, but also I think too, with the offense is these games don't have the juice associated with them in the sense that it's human nature. You don't have the attention span. You know what I mean? And you just don't have that edge to where it's like, hey, this is a big the atmosphere in the USC game next week, like it was with the Texas A&M game when the Notre Dame offense looked really good, but for their 4th and 1 plays or whatever it might be, it's like it's just different. And I think I thought they would just bounce back, but I think they just need a bigger game. They need their attention to be kept for a little bit longer, right? Like I think I don't want to say go through the motions because that's not the right way to put it, but I think they're trying to just like, hey, we're going to go play our game. Whereas like you go against USC next weekend and it's going to be like, we got to be playmakers, and they're just going to be on edge. And I think that's important. And that's a big deal. Nick Gruel says debating on buying a single ticket and going to South Bend next weekend. Listen, have you ever done that, Jamie?
But I've never gone to a sporting event as just one person before. No. Gone to a concert before.
Okay, so in 2009, Notre Dame, the Lakers were playing in the conference semifinal in Game 7. And I didn't have anything to do. And I was like, I did exactly that. I bought a ticket and went to the game by myself. I asked a couple of people to go and they couldn't. So I was like, I'm just going to go. Like, I don't have anything to do. It wasn't crazy expensive. And so I just went. So, Nick, I recommend it. Do it. Just go, man. Just live it up. Like, have a good time. It'll be a night game. You know, I there's nothing wrong with that. Because here's the thing. You're going to sit next to somebody who is rooting for Notre Dame. You're not going to have like a bad time, right? Like you just sit there and cheer and watch the game. I recommend doing that. So yeah, I think Notre Dame's offense they just need to get into a bigger game, and then they'll play a better kind of efficient contest. I think next weekend we're going to be having a conversation whether they win or lose, right? I don't know, but I think when we talk about them, we're going to talk about a better performance.
Big red zone fumble for USC.
Big red zone fumble.
Big
Clontarf says
2-0.
SC fumble in the red zone. SC fumble Ruski. A lot of SC talk on this. I mean, it's game week, Jamie. It's Chad week. Chad Bowden. It's gonna be it's gonna be a big deal. Anything before we finish up here? Anything to finish up? Gordon Butler says he almost went to a Cub game solo. Went to a Cub game. Congratulations to the Mariners, Jamie. That was a big game last night. The Dodgers, of course, advanced. So both of our teams
sweating it.
Anything else on the game before we get going here?
Not necessarily on the game, but I think you could see like, earlier, obviously at the noon game, like Pitt beat Florida State. Florida State, oh man, you beat Alabama to start the season. You're 0-3 you're 0-3 in the ACC. Like,
That's incredible.
that is incredible.
And Alabama looks really good. Like kind of a crazy,
Alabama, yes, Alabama's
like
good.
That's kind of a crazy thing. It's a very weird season.
It's a really weird season, but I mean, if you look at it, like early on, you would say after Florida State won that game, you'd be like, well, it'll be them or Clemson or both of those will be the two teams from the ACC. Nope. Like Penn State. I mean, small game is not going to make it to next year. They're going to have a parting of the ways. He will go somewhere else. Like, I don't think they're going to, he probably has a monster buyout for Franklin, like, because I'm sure he got a big raise, like, pretty recently.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't think they're going to fire him, but he's going to also be like, it's time for a change or something, right? Like, I think that kind of makes sense, unless he does the, the BK 2016 thing or whatever, and he's just kind of waiting. But like, a job has to come up that he has to want to take or whatever. But it's just funny because all of a sudden Pitt, they got a good chance of being 7-2 when they play Notre Dame. And if they keep winning, they're going to be ranked. And I mean, obviously they're a pretty good football team, whatever. That's not going to be an easy game going to play Pitt. But that's one of those things where, that game got harder, but it's like when you're talking about what, Notre Dame needs for the schedule, whatever, that could be the kind of game. It's like, that's the kind of team they would have to beat. Like, that would be important. So, and you wouldn't have said that after they lost to Louisville and West Virginia earlier, right? So it's just, college football is weird, man. Anything can happen. Things can change. And like right now, USC just driving it down on Michigan for the second time. Michigan could come right back down here and drive it down their throats. And then all of a sudden it's like USC gets in the fourth quarter and they start wilting away. Like it could all be like that. So I don't know, but that's why we love it.
That's why, like, I can't believe Bud Elliott went and did this. Like, he went and said, like, oh, it was a bad weekend for Notre Dame like a couple weeks ago. It's like, oh, they're not going to have any games that matter. It's like, dude, is this your first year covering college football? That's not how it works. Like, someone is going to end up being pretty good. And that someone is probably going to be USC. And then that someone is probably going to be Pitt.
Yeah.
It's just the way it works, man. Like Oregon's best win might very well be like USC, just like Notre Dame, or Penn State, who has lost 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Like, you want to give them a bunch of credit for that terrible team, So listen, and I've seen enough comments from people like, listen, look, Notre Dame, if they went out, they're going to play in the playoffs. They just are, right? You go 10-2, they're making it, and they're going to win 10 in a row. And it's a very easy narrative. They have a good offense, and if their defense is caught up and they are, all of a sudden that it was the start of the year when they played A&M and they played Miami. And, oh, by the way, Miami at that point is like number 1 in the country or whatever it might be.
By the way, too, Navy, I don't know if people watch it, but like they were like down for most of the game and they came back and won 32-31.
Monitoring the middies.
They're 6-0. Obviously, they have not played anyone really good.
Yeah.
But and they're getting into shootouts each week. It's not good. But I don't know if they're going to be ranked, but they might win the AAC.
Yeah.
Like it's their toughest games are after Notre Dame in the conference. So we'll see. But it doesn't hurt just from perception standpoint if they're undefeated going into that game.
There's just easy arguments to make.
Yeah.
For Notre Dame, things are still going. All right, we can end it there. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. If you like what you heard, hit that like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. So we are going live. I'm going to be earlier tomorrow on my post-game show, Morning After Recap. It's going to be 10 a.m. Eastern time. My daughter has a soccer game, and so I need to get to that. So that's where I'm going to be. 10 a.m. Eastern time. We'll do the morning after recap for everyone. All right. Have a good rest of your night. Have a good evening. We'll talk to you in the morning. Keep hitting and hustling.